We like to say that Woodstone ovens are not pizza ovens. They just happen to bake pizza exceptionally. You can do all kinds of things in these ovens. What we are going to start out with here though is pizza, and going to show some basic strategies for rotating pizza through these ovens. I'll talk about a couple other strategies that and the implications of doing it different ways, because there are a bunch of different ways to do it. We've just found that certain ways are easier when you're trying to do some high volume. So the success of a pizza is determined before it's ever even in the oven. A lot of times it can go wrong before it gets in the oven, so it's important to build the pizza properly. We have hand stretched both of these pizza skins with a light, high quality sauce, some very high quality cheese. This one has some nice pepperoni on it. We've kept it round. We tried not to punch the air out of the dough, so we do get some nice bubbling and some nice internal crumb texture. You can see that the distribution of the ingredients is all the way out toward the edge and not too much in the middle. There's even, you see a little more sauce in the middle. When a pizza starts to cook, the edge swells up, the cornichon swells up, and it pushes everything to the middle. Things tend to flow to the middle anyway, so the more you can leave the middle a little spare, the better off you'll be with your finished product. With pizzas this size, it's fairly easy to pick them right up off the counter, especially if you have some semolina down or some other peel release. Oftentimes flour or a mix of flour and semolina is used. Some places, some people like to use cornmeal. I don't really recommend that at the temperatures that we have in our ovens, because it really does tend to burn. Even the semolina is a little sensitive to the high temperatures we see in our ovens. A good solution is building the pizzas right on some sort of a wooden peel, and that way you don't have to train people to scoop them off the counter, although it's really not very difficult. This is easier to build on a wooden peel when you're doing very large pizzas, 16s, 18s. Those are difficult to scoop off the counter no matter how much semolina you use. So I'm going to demonstrate the placement and cooking of just a couple pizzas. This would be, 11:15 in the morning. Your first customer's coming in. You don't have a full oven yet. You don't need to fire up your oven like it is full. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on the peel. Make sure it's sliding, because I had plenty of semolina down. So sliding on the peel. So before I commit, once again, I'm going to just make sure it's sliding on the peel, and I'm going to go right back by the flame. This oven's been heated up and it's been resting, but I really haven't, it's ready to receive pizza. My next one, I'll go right next to it here. What I'll do now is bump up that flame a little bit. I'm expecting, I'm running at about 550, so I'm looking at a 3.5 to 4 minute bake on the bottoms. And so I'm bumping that flame up just above 3, so I get the radiant heat on top is going to keep up with the baking of the pizza from the bottom. The cracking in the floor of these ovens is not unusual or unexpected. We often get a phone call about a week after somebody's oven gets fired up, and they're alarmed until they watch the videos and they read the manual and they look at some other Woodstone ovens. This floor is 4 inches thick. The cracking only makes the floor more stable. A couple of bubbles that I want to take care of. I like to leave some bubbles for the texture. You can just reach in, you don't even have to move the pie. You just don't want any bubbles that are going to actually displace ingredients or get out of hand. So these pies have been in there for about 1.5 minutes. I know they need a little bit of a turn. It's difficult to see the side of the pizza that's browning with the flame in the back like that, but it definitely needed a turn, and it'll probably need one more before it's done. These are looking great. You can always check the bottoms of the pizzas too. Just give them a quick little pop up there. Oh, there's a bubble. That'll just go right away. You don't want to leave your peel sitting in the oven too long, or it will get hot. Oftentimes a restaurant will buy 2 of the utility peels, so when one gets too hot to handle, they can hang it up and let it cool and use the other one. Sometimes it's good to actually assess a pizza by bringing it right out where you can get a close look at it. me see, it's looking really good. This side over here is a little lighter, so I'm going to make sure that side's facing the flame when I put it back in. And we'll pull that other one out and have a look at it. We're looking good. We're going to give it just a little turn and back in. So because I'm just cooking 2 pizzas, I haven't bumped the flame up as high as I would if I had more pizza in the oven. These dough balls are about 14 ounces. We're going for about a 14-inch pizza with these. We're hitting the 3.5 minute mark now, and these pizzas are ready to come out. I do like to check the bottom before I pull it out just to make sure it's not overdone or underdone. That looks fantastic. You can hear it, actually. It's gorgeous. Okay, now here is a very important best practice, and that is there are no pizzas in this oven. There's nothing in this oven right now. So I want to bump that flame back down. I'm going to bump it back down to a setting of about 2. That's going to hold the flame, so it's giving the oven some heat, but it's not overheating the floor. If I leave the flame up here and walk away for 10 minutes, my next pizza is likely to burn if I put it right in front of the flame. I want to be able to use that spot in front of the flame because I want to be able to bump up the flame without overheating the floor when I put pizza in the oven. And the pizza will protect the floor from the flame. Okay, so now I have 2 pies in the oven. Again, they're almost done, but starting to get busy. We need to add some more pizza. So I'm not just going to be pulling these and turning down the flame to let the oven continue resting. I'm going into production mode. So I'm going to go ahead and start loading these in right behind those other ones, and they'll move into the spots when those leave. So I'm just using the oven floor as best I can. Scooping the pizzas up off the counter. Now, because I've added some more pies, I'm going to bump my flame up just a little bit because we're starting to take some heat out of the oven. Okay, now the pies that were there before I added the next 3, those are done. I'm going to go ahead and bring these out. Let them rest on the mantle. And I can move these others right up into position. I like to finish near the flame. See, that crack's not getting in my way at all. You can go right under it. Now I've got even one more pie I'm going to load in there. So I'm always working the pizzas back toward the flame. With this size pie, we could be doing 7 at a time. These pies are cooking 7 or 8, depending on how much you want to crowd your oven. These pies are cooking in about 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. So if you're doing 8 pies every 4 minutes, you're getting up there. You're getting to the 150 pie an hour mark. So because the heat in these ovens is directional, you've got more top heat coming from the heat source, that flame in the back. You are going to need to spin these pies. Never hurts to bring them right out and have a look at them if you want to see what's going on. This was the side facing the flame, so I want to make sure I put this back in so it's not facing the flame. You can even give a quick check to the bottom to make sure you're not cooking too fast. It's looking good. Slide this one out of my way. And back in. Those are ready to sit there and finish right where they are. And I'll be able to move this one up into position to finish it off quickly. This rotation strategy, finishing the pizzas near the flame, this is easy to maintain under heavy production. You're loading the pizzas in close to you, so you're not having to reach over other pizzas to load them in. It's easy to manage. Things are taking the same amount of time, and they're activating the underfloor burner in the oven when it needs to be activated. There are other strategies for cooking in stone hearth ovens. One involves starting every pizza right next to a raging flame, getting a lot of oven spring, and then backing it off and letting it finish slowly. That one takes a little more to keep track of. One, because you're loading pizzas in over other pizzas, and you have a very limited amount of time between nice and burned. All right, this one's looking good in the middle. I'm gonna pull that out, give the bottom a quick check. That's beautiful. I can move these more into prime position to give them a quick finish, although I think I'm just about there on that one. And a quick little spin, just an examination. Make sure that all your pizzas are looking like you want them to. Bring those out. This one, I can move it up into prime position. Now, I don't have another pizza to load in right now, so I am going to take this flame and just bring it down just a little, so I'm not overheating my oven. The oven doesn't need the same flame for 2 pizzas as it does for 6 or 8 pies. All you have to do to check the bottom is to just get the peel under it and give the peel a quick little twist. And you get a quick little glance at the bottom of the pizza. You can also hear and feel the texture of the bottom as the side of that peel rubs on it. Ooh, that last one's looking good. It's almost done. Now, I don't want to forget, I don't have any pizza in the oven right now, so I need to turn that flame back down so I don't overheat my floor. I know I keep repeating that. That is one of the most important habits to get your oven operator into. Okay, so anytime you have an empty oven, you might as well take that opportunity to clean the floor. There's always going to be some debris from the semolina, something that fell off a pizza. So anytime the oven or even half the oven is empty, get in there, do a quick brush. You can even flip this brush over and kind of pop any burned cheese off the floor. You can see I'm sweeping back away from the flame. Always toward the doorway, or of course if you have a wood fire in the oven, sweep it into the fire.